All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow and Crisis Report. This is your Crisis Report alert for December 4th, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. We'll get more of that later. Here we go. Netanyahu says he thinks that Churchill would have been accused of stupendous war crimes if he were today. So we didn't carpet bomb, we didn't do Dresden, we don't do any of that. During the deliberate bombings of Dresden by the British and American forces in 1945, tens of thousands of innocent German civilians were killed. AfD, Germany's largest opposition party, continues to widen the gap between itself and the ruling CDU in the polls. Macron warns the United States could betray Ukraine. European Center for Disease Prevention and Control sends EU health ministers a new plan advising actions to prevent a bird flu ronademic, which scientists say is just one major mutation away. FBI has arrested a man in an investigation of the pipe bombs placed in D.C. on the eve of January 6th. Germany's Chancellor Merz, CDU, deep mistrust of the United States government, saying they are playing games with us. There's a great danger for Zelensky. Merz, CDU, reportedly said in a leaked call that Zelensky must be extremely careful in the coming days. They're playing games, both of you and with us. Merz added, presumably referring to the Wyckoff and Kushner talks. Arrested January 6 pipe bomber suspect is identified as Brian Cole, 30, Northern Virginia. New visuals showing the UAE-backed Southern Transitional Government banner over the central bank of Yemen and Galqiada city of the Al-Mahra province, eastern Yemen. Also now confirms that the STG forces are pushing east towards the Oman border. Southern Transitional Government, or STG, is working on the prospect of cessation from Yemen and declaring an independent state, which is already echoing on the ground, called the Southern Arabian State. Southern supporters of the STC in Al-Mahra had already pledged loyalty to the movement and raised the flag of the former People's Democratic Republic of Yemen. The border of Yemen and with Oman is now under control of the Southern Transitional Government. A new country's birth is near. And initial reports of Saudi jets are conducting airstrikes against advancing UAE-backed Southern Transitional Government forces in the Hadramaut province. So Yemen is basically possibly having their civil war done, and they're going to split into two states, a western and an eastern. The eastern one portion, the Mahra area, has basically a linchpin between all these different states. It's now been taken over by this STG, which is the UAE-backed. So it's almost like a proxy war between UAE and Saudi Arabia over some oil-rich areas. So we're going to be watching this one as this is a new developing thing, but you might see a new state, a new country in the coming weeks. Aerial footage shows widespread devastation in Sumatra, Indonesia. Death toll from the cyclone-driven floods, landslides rose 836, with hundreds still missing across West Sumatra, North Sumatra, and Aceh, government data showed. Barack Obama says America needs more immigration from all corners of the globe, calling multiculturalism the key to the nation's exceptionalism. More than 1 million bags of cheese sold at Walmart, Target, and Aldi have been recalled over concerns that may contain metal fragments, and the FDA has upgraded the recall to a Class 1, indicating the product could cause temporary or medically reversible health effects. After several days of ignoring Donald Trump's warning and continuing to fly over Venezuelan airspace, Panamanian airline Copa Airlines is finally adjusting its routes to avoid Venezuela, although some flights to Paramaribo and Port of Spain still skirt the area. Another appears close to only because it takes off from the Oranjestad. The airline is thus beginning to pull back amid growing pressure from the United States. Russian cosmonaut has been removed from a SpaceX mission after alleged security breach. Cosmonaut has been removed from the upcoming SpaceX mission and International Space Station after reportedly mishandling sensitive technical materials during training in the United States. The investigative outlet, The Insider, reported that Oleg Artemyev, a cosmonaut veteran, allegedly photographed and removed restricted documents at SpaceX training facility in Hawthorne, California. Space industry analyst Georgy Trishkin told The Insider that An interagency investigation was launched in response to the incident. Popular space industry telegram channel Yura Prosty separately claimed that Artemyev had been taken off the mission last week after photographing SpaceX engines and other materials controlled under U.S. export laws. Hard to imagine an experienced cosmonaut making such a serious mistake unintentionally, Trishkin said. Russia's space agency Roscosmos later announced that Artemyev would be replaced by Andrei Fedyaev, another veteran cosmonaut who flew on the Crew 6 mission in 2023. Maduro confirms Trump call and said it was respectful, even cordial. Steps are being taken toward respectful dialogue between the states. He welcomes diplomacy because we will always seek peace. Marco Rubio now claims that Trump wants to attack Venezuela because Hezbollah is there. It's back and forth, folks. Russian and Arab sources report that northern and southern Yemeni states may be formed in the near future. And the recent flooding of Indonesia was turbocharged by intensive deforestation. In the worst hit area, Batang Toru in North Sumatra, there were even logging companies active. No one knows how much were legal or logging or illegal. Hydro dam project and a gold mine were there too. 700 are now dead. And it will get worse and worse with time because the logging happens on the best terrain, least vulnerable to soil loss first, then the mountain sides where the effects are really catastrophic. Once these forests are cut down, give it a few more years, it will take enormous resources and willpower that Indonesia doesn't have and never will to reforest the destroyed mountain soils. Irresponsible resource use, unsustainable population expansion, and low-quality government will mean unprecedented ecocide. Climate change has nothing to do with this, but it is a convenient scapegoat to not do anything while lining your pockets with various low-effect climate scams. Interesting. And the territorial changes of Yemen before and after the Hadramaut offensive. Southern Transitional Council, STC, or Southern Transitional Government, a proxy of the UAE, defeated and conquered the capital of Hadramaut province, Sayun, from the internationally recognized Yemeni government, or YAF, a proxy of Saudi Arabia, and cut off their access from the Indian Ocean by deriving along the coastline and reaching the Omani border. One of the reasons for the rapid advance of the STC troops in this area was that Hadramaut is Yemen's least populated region. The entire province is a desert devoid of people. Hadramaut offensive is making the end of the Yemeni civil war closer and supports the case for the partition of Yemen into two states, a North and South Yemen, as they were before the Union of 1990. And that is your explanation. Friends, that's your crisis report. Please hit us up on other links in the description. X, Minds, Truth, Twitter. Subscribe to our locals Substack, where you can get a full accounting of this with links. We appreciate you being here on the Crisis Report with us. If you could, hit that like button to the subscribe thing. Maybe even consider becoming a member. It helps the mission that we are doing here. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals, who also helps the mission here on YouTube. We appreciate you. Join us over on PrepperNow, too. Just had a recent short on affordability come out, and we would love to see you over there. Also, they do not allow this channel to grow. It will be at 10,710 to 15 for the next year plus. So all the engagement you can give us helps us, okay? Just know that we're fighting an uphill battle, and you're the best defense. God bless. We'll see you on the next one.